All right, back to FROACHING, my creation. And if you don't have, I'm finishing it, I'm leaving it right there because everything in that pan is thoroughly pasteurized. If you're some kind of germ freak, people eat raw eggs all the time. If you don't have English roots, you don't realize what a wet dream this concoction is. See, I've created actually 3 different textures and flavors here. Even that coconut oil that's on it. And at this point, I'm actually going to add the finishing touch, which is my unique creation on this. But first let me say that, see, those of you who don't really understand and love the egg like the Englishman, you may have heard of the 1-minute egg setting in that egg cup, and you gently tap and knife off the top of it to reach the still liquid yolks, and then you would take a nice buttered toast point, which I would recommend some good organic toasted bread, but I'm not eating wheat anymore. And then you begin dipping it into that lovely egg yolk, that delicious flavor, because when you hard boil them, they lose their flavor. They're just, the flavor goes from rich to minimal. I'd also recommend, if you're a backpacker, because this is really for a backpacker approach. This is a backpacking kit, you might be carrying a can of that delicious, long time, low temperature baked pumpernickel bread, which when you cook it that long, it converts the starches to sugar, and so it comes out naturally sweet with no added sugars. That would also be, other than the buttered toast points, pumpernickel would be great dipping, because that would add also the element of sweetness to it. I've already salted it, and almost hit it, and now I'm about to add the finishing touch. Trust me, everything in that pan is pasteurized. There is no live viruses. The live viruses were gone 20 minutes ago. If there were any, there's none at all really once I crack open that egg. Any chance of bacteria? Nope. If you're squeamish about eating eggs like this, then you're not an Englishman. And now I'm going to add my final touch, which, let me get this right. I just want a little bit, just a few drops of golden roasted, no, just a drop here and there. Just a few, doesn't take much. And that's perfection right there. Now you can make a hearty meal. You could actually split this with the use of toast points or sweet baked pumpernickel. They put them in cans. They can them. That's a frequent backpacker food. It's got the real pumpernickel, which is hard to get, but that's what I would recommend. And that you could actually, this could be a meal for 2, but without the bread. I'm staying away from wheat altogether. And so I created this dish, this style of FROACHING, using just a $10 Walmart camp kit, although I destroyed the plate or the frying pan cover. It has dual use, but I've already put my electrolyte mix on it. That's one of the most nutritious, because it's got the omega-6 in it and stuff. And the coconut oil, oh my goodness, this is one of the least toxic, non-toxic you can ever come up with. And while it would be nice to have like that crisp texture of frying, it's not possible in these typically thin, backpacking, lightweight. I'm not you'd be kind of crazy. Why would you want to carry like a big cast iron skillet when you can carry a dozen eggs and a can of, slow baked sweet pumpernickel? Would be excellent meal. That's what I would recommend. I'm going to have to tag this, splice this video onto the other one because the pause didn't come back with the. But anyway, that's it. That's as good as it gets. It's actually still cooking. If you can't tell it, it's actually, if I give it a little bit longer, almost all of this albumin, the egg yolk, will finish solidifying, but by then it'll be cold, and I'm not going to eat it cold. I'm just letting it cool down enough and finishing this off to just look at that delicious, gorgeous. It's just awesome. Yeah, I can see it. It's almost finished. It's still, the heat is still coming up to where there's going to be very little, and some of this is actually a mixture of coconut oil and albumin, because the coconut oil will, of course, come on top, but it keeps it from sticking to the pan. So, just wanted to give you a look at something I invented today while waiting on the weather to improve, and something you can do yourself with a little bit of skill. But I learned from the best food chemist in the world, my mom, and I've been creating my own dishes and style of cooking based on my knowledge of food chemistry. My mom was a natural born food chemist, but this is especially if you have that English love of eggs, this is absolute dynamite. All the nice egg white separate and good yolks for dipping, or as I go into it, it will begin to break up. It will begin to become a melange of all these flavors of egg white, albumin, and the egg yolks, real rich. That's where and actually I get all my electrolytes in this. I put in about 2 grams of the electrolyte mix that I showed you. And then that little bit of sesame seed oil, toasted, not raw, is going to give it a whole new dimension. Just thought I'd share this with you. And I'll talk to you later because it's time for breakfast. It's around 11 o'clock.